white civil rights are American rights, okay?
What rights do whites not have? Like, what do you feel?
We're attacked. Obviously, we're attacked as the oppressors.
This is not allowed here. You do not welcome you. We exile you. Go back to where you came from. Spread your message to other people. We are not standing for it.
On the one-year anniversary of the deadly Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, white supremacists planned another demonstration, this time in Washington, D.C. Thousands of counter-protesters drowned out the voices of roughly 30 white supremacists who attended. Joshua Turner, a former neo-Nazi, came with us to the rally to try and talk to some of the white supremacists about their beliefs.
I was born into a really strict Christian family, really religious, and it was very irrational around the house. My parents told me, Jesus was going to be rapturing us any time, that the government was going to be kicking down our door at any minute to make us take the mark of the beast. So I was constantly in an environment of fear, and so I rebelled a lot, big time. When I was a teenager, I started using drugs, started stealing and hanging out with the wrong people, and ended up in juvie when I was 12 and continued going till I was 17. And when I was 18, I carjacked somebody. She was a Jewish woman, and at the time I was hanging out with skinheads, and I wanted to impress these guys, so I stole a gun from Kmart. It was a pellet gun that looked like a real .45, and I went out in the parking lot and I carjacked this woman and ended up in prison. And in prison is where I met real skinheads. And I joined a gang called Aryan Front. They made me put in work to prove my loyalty to the gang. I had to hurt people. And I lived like a crazy skinhead for 5 years on a maximum security prison yard. When I paroled in 2007, I tried to I wanted to be this Nazi that was just, clean, not doing any drugs, and I wanted to trade in my boots for suits, pretty much. I wanted to be an intellectual that people could respect. And my drug issue got in the way. I was still using, and I ended up in rehab, and I was just totally broken. I was at the end of my rope. I didn't know, if I even wanted to live anymore, and so I just decided that I needed to try something different. So I started getting involved with skeptic groups, and they really changed my life because they gave me a tool set to reflect on my beliefs to see if they were real or correct, if they were in line with reality. And so I did that, and I realized, all these things that I believed aren't true. There's no reason to believe them. And about 3 years ago, I started my own nonprofit, Saved by Reason, and I go into jails and prison and teach inmates critical thinking. So I don't have a lot of money, but I scraped it up, and I came down here because I thought it'd be a good chance for me to talk to some of these guys one-on-one, hopefully the leaders. I don't know if I'd get that lucky, but I really want to talk to these guys one-on-one like I do in jail, and just have a sincere, honest discussion where I respect what he says, and hopefully, he returns that respect.
No KKK, no fascist USA. What's the problem?
The whole damn system.
What's the solution?
Revolution.
So we're going to try to meet up and catch up with the first group of the Unite the Right that's coming on the metro towards DC right now. We're going to meet up with them. What do you anticipate is going to happen?
We've heard so far that there's not too many of them, so I honestly think they're really going to get drowned out, and they're not going to have the big rally that they were expecting to have.
Do you think that they have any idea how big of a group there is coming to meet them?
I really don't think they have a clue. They're going to find out soon, though.
If they don't get it, shut it down.
Why do you want to be here today?
First for my people, and second for my country. The KKK is a terrorist organization. You know what I'm saying? They're a terrorist organization. We soldiers right now.
And soldiers for what?
For peace and love.
How did you feel when you found out that this group was coming to DC on the anniversary of the Charlottesville rally?
There's so much hate in one group, and they do it on the same day. We want to mourn, and providing more hate is not going to help us mourn. It's hurting.
I think that Trump has allowed for this type of activity to be going on. To silently allow this all to happen without condemning these radicals is just really mind-blowing.
In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America.
You say civil rights, like what kind of laws should be passed that white, to ensure that whites have more rights?
Small. We're not going to change anything in one day, obviously. Today, we saw this as a success for our movement, for our people, for our generation.
Based on what you heard today, and compared to what you would hear back when you were a skinhead, were there any differences?
Not very much. I didn't hear, I didn't hear any Zeke Hiles. I didn't hear anything about white power, which I would have heard at my rallies. But they've publicly admitted they're trying to clean up their image, so I'm sure that's why I didn't hear that. But other than those, those words, the message is exactly the same. That it's just about hate and separation, and it's same thing.